welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane and this is Lifestyle with Jane, where we create content around motherhood, treats and finds, and beauty. If it's your first time here, karibu sana. I hope you find this content helpful and impactful in your life, and if you find it so, please consider hitting the subscribe button and joining our growing family. Wow, kizungu. So today I just want us to have a simple conversation. I wanted to share with you guys my first labor experience and how naive and just out of touch I was with life and how all the experiences I had were just like boom, 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 all of them new and strange. But I have found motherhood to be a very exciting journey. I am a mom of one. My son is around 5 years old now. And you know, with motherhood, you just learn every year comes with its new challenges. Every growth comes with its new challenges. And today I just thought I would share my first labor experience. So let's get right into it. First things first. Have you ever heard of the methali or msemo that says mficha uchi hazai? You guys, let me tell you, when you go through labor, that is when the truth of that statement comes to life, or rather, at least that's what happened to me. Like, when I went into labor, I couldn't imagine how many people were just going down there to check what was happening with me, how many centimeters I had opened up to, and all those things. And I think I was the naive of the naivest women on this planet, if I can say that. But my experience was just, I think for me, that statement came to life, that mficha uchi hazai, when I went into labor, because I can't count the number of nurses who had to go and check what was happening, how many centimeters I had opened up to, the stress that I went through when I was in labor, because I think I labored for around 72 hours, guys, and I still ended up going through a cesarean section. So I mean, motherhood is just it's an experience that I think, I don't know, everybody has their own experience, but for me, it just brings to life the magic of what God is able to do. Because let me know your experience, guys, because for me, that thing of being measured, how many centimeters you've opened up to before, like after every 2 or 3 hours, somebody is down there on your nunu checking how many centimeters you've opened up. Misijui, that experience was just too weird. But it's something that you have to go through when you're in labor. So that for me was a shocker. I think I knew it would happen, but I don't know how naive I was. I didn't think it would be as intense as it was. But tuko hapa, tulizana, tunalea, so we continue. The second thing I think that really shocked me is basically the body changes you experience. Of course, while in labor and after giving birth, I think your body goes through a lot of so many changes that can actually overwhelm you. And I think that's why we should have more conversations on postpartum depression, because I think it really stems from those drastic changes that you experience in your body. You know, you give birth, immediately after you give birth, your breasts just enlarge and they just have milk, and now you're just like a milking cow. And then you have all this blood that you're losing for the next 2 weeks. Like, your body really just can get overwhelmed because of these changes. And I remember, I think for me was the first day when I got home from hospital. That morning, I just cried. Like, I just woke up and tears were just rolling out of my eyes. Not because anything had happened or I had had a rough night, but I think because of all those changes emotionally, I think I was just shocked, and I just started crying and crying and crying. And so I think that the labor experience and giving birth is really something that we need to have more conversations around, because then we would stop really looking at postpartum depression as some form of weakness in women, but something that really affects a lot of women. And it happens because your body kind of like goes through a shockwave, because one day you were just by yourself and things were okay, and then the next day you are here, you have a little human who depends on you, and your body is experiencing all these changes. So I think for me, I would say let's have a lot of more of these conversations, because I would easily see why it would happen. Why would you would easily fall into postpartum depression as a woman who is giving birth. So the third thing for me, I think, as I think I already mentioned, bleeding is really intense. Like, I don't know if I can explain in words how much bleeding goes into giving birth, you guys. You really just bleed and bleed and bleed, and it's a normal process, but I think as much as people prepare you for it, when you actually get to experience it, it can become overwhelming. So I think for me, that was also one of the things that I felt was just like, today it wasn't happening, and then the next 2 weeks I'm just bleeding profusely. Like, I'm saying profusely because it's a lot of blood that really comes out, or maybe that's my experience. I would really love to hear your experience if it was different. But I think that's also one of the shockers that I got to experience. The other thing, I think, I would say, I don't know if sex after giving birth is awkward. You guys, let me know down below. I think I'll leave this open for discussion, but for me, what I would say is, I think the awkwardness is really just you thinking that you're actually having sex after giving birth, like the experience that you go through when you give birth, and then now going back into what you already used to, or you were used to doing before. I think the awkwardness comes with the thoughts. I don't know if there's really anything that changes. Of course there's things that change, but I don't know, the dynamics of explaining this is really hard. But for me, I would say, I think it's the thought process that you're just feeling awkward, you're feeling weird, you don't know, is it going to be the same, have things changed. There's also a lot of conversations, or I don't know what I would call them. There's a lot of myths that after you give birth you expand, and there's all these things. I'm not a therapist, so I'm not a doctor, and I'm not like good with these things, but I'm just saying that the awkwardness of that, having those things in your mind and then now going back into the activity, can actually make you feel like it's awkward. But I guess maybe we'll let experts explain that to us, or please go and Google is our friend. Find out if it becomes awkward, and if it does, what is the reason behind it. But for me, I would say also that those are one of the dynamics that I just felt got affected or changed in the process. The other thing I would say is, also apart from labor, I think with motherhood, there's a lot of things that change in your life. Your dynamics are now different. You have a little human who depends on you, so your priorities kind of like change. And so if the circle of people around you do not understand that, they might confuse, they might think you're putting them aside, or stuff like that. But really, it's just the dynamics of motherhood. You become so engrossed and so engaged in taking care of your child, that if you don't have friends who actually understand that there's going to be that period or that break where you have to be available for yourself and for your child, it can easily be misunderstood. And so it's good to just put into perspective that motherhood also just comes with these kinds of priorities. And so you have to the dynamics of your life kind of like change. You have to prioritize your family now, you have to also prioritize yourself and stuff like that. So I think that's also one of the things that we need to also just talk about as parents, and also just around friends who haven't had kids yet, just so that it doesn't look, it kind of like opens up that conversation, because I don't think it's also something that is really talked about a lot, and people can easily mistake your prioritizing your family or spending time with your kids as not wanting to spend time with them. But it's really just it's just the way life is. Things are happening, and you kind of like have to now choose what's important, what's less important. It's not that it's not important, it's just that it's less important. So let's I think that's also something else. And also so the last one for me, I think, would be, you will never be the same once you go through the labor process, regardless of whether you become a mom after that or not, you're not the same. You do not remain to be the same person. There's a lot of things that change, and I think also if you're not so much as prepared for it, that's why you find that there's postpartum depression, or there's a lot of overwhelming feelings around the process of just becoming a mom. And I think that these are also conversations that we really need to have. So I think that's it for today's video, guys. I also wanted to just come here and let you know that for the month of June, Lifestyle with Jane will be taking a break. It's the half year, guys. It's half year, and I think we just need to take a break, look at what we've been doing, and also there's just a lot of things that are happening in my life right now that I think I need to focus a bit more on. So for the month of June, we will not be having any videos, but we are going to come back again in the month of July. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe, watch all the videos I have posted. I think I have quite a number, so don't worry. For the month of June, you can just go back and watch those ones. But for the month of July, hopefully we'll be back bigger and better. And yeah, let's see how much more impact we can create on this channel. So thank you all so much for the support. I hope to still see you here when I come back in July, and I hope that we're going to continue growing and learning from each other. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you all in July. Bye.